the 90 Pleiadian collective, current energies. Beloved ones of Earth, we are here, closer to you than ever before, as so many of you have shifted into the new world. We love you deeply. Many more are still on their journey, ascending their consciousness to higher and higher vibrations. This is a pivotal time for stillness, introspection, and dedication to your spiritual practices. Awaken your dormant energy channels, nurture your Kundalini, and allow it to reset and revitalize your system. For now, step away from seeking answers in the physical world. That is not where your evolution lies. Instead, turn inward. We hear your doubts, your hesitations. I don't have time, I need to secure my livelihood. Beloved ones, these are echoes of the 3D illusion. Yes, your needs and desires are valid, and all that is essential for your journey will manifest for you. Trust that the universe provides for those who surrender, who devote themselves to spiritual transformation. Those who spend time in meditation, who let go of control and surrender to the flow of existence, know this truth: a higher force is always taking care of them in unexpected and magical ways. Do not let your mind trap you in stories that no longer serve your growth. Instead, focus your efforts on your spiritual evolution. When you prioritize your transformation, everything else will fall into place effortlessly. Now is the time to raise your vibration. And as you do, you uplift not just yourself but countless others. One light shining brightly on Earth has the power to bless and illuminate many souls. Be that light. We are here to support you always. The portal with Sirius is opening vast opportunities for true growth, profound insights, and a deeper understanding of the 5D reality. Honor your connection with Sirius, and embrace these natural moments of expansion. There is no need to escape, no need to search for freedom elsewhere. Simply be where you are. Free yourself within your heart, smile, and release all that no longer serves you. We love you beyond the limits of mind and matter. A new harmonic Earth. As we step into a new harmonic era, marked by Pluto finally moving into Aquarius, many of you will feel the big shift in your bodies and how they now perceive and adjust to the new Earth's energies. Many of us have been working for many years, so we can align now to these new frequencies, and above all, to the new Earth's fifth-dimensional crystalline portals available for all who are choosing to exit the 3D old timelines. Portals that tower our family, and the white Elohims, guardians of our galaxy, sustain, protect, and create to support those who are now choosing to pass into the last physical ascension stage. Many of you are now feeling the physical sensations of literally being upgraded into a more illumined frequency. This is what my guides named as energetic and physical soul reconnection signs. It begins when our chakra system starts being transfigured into higher illumined chakras, with colors that are not part of our human color spectrum. We start vibrating at the higher frequency, and our bodies start the long-term process of energetic crystallization, as it will take eons until we can see our new harmonic bodies losing their density. When we do our inner work, there are some common signs and sensations that we are heading into this process. Signs that clearly confirm that we are embodying a higher level of consciousness, moving into a new state of being, and leaving aside more of our old 3D one. Many of these sensations start happening in our ear portals when we feel as if we are a bit deaf, hearing how sound vibrates in our ear, while all the other sounds fall silent, as if we are only listening to a new sound we have never heard before, a new frequency that echoes in our ears and numb the other senses. Our ear portals are readjusting to the new and denser frequency that we are now able to pick up. All the other noises feel uncomfortable until we begin to adapt again to the loud noise of our dimension. All feels more intense, but more precious and unique than ever before. These sounds have nothing to do with the so famous ringing in the ears, which is a totally different issue, and it will also depend on your individual situation. The bone structure, especially the legs, ankles, and fingers, will also experience many sensations as they start losing density, even though we are still in the initial phases. Legs may creak, as may two other bones. Pain can become a constant when we pass through periods of profound density loss, which again has nothing to do with losing bone mass. For others, this process can be more emotional as they release an old self, balance their ego, and let go of an old life, starting the creation of a new lifestyle that is now aligned with their soul's will. Some people suffer from anxiety, as our dense bodies are not accustomed to dwelling in the love that we are now able to embody. All must be first checked physically, making sure we do not have any physical condition. Others may not have any sensations. We are not always meant to be experiencing symptoms and challenges. Ascension, after all, is about simplicity, as we embrace higher levels of love and go with a pure heart to serve where required. This is an introductory passage to the new frequency that will reign for the next years. A passage that will be key for us to create the foundations of the new earth we wish to leave for future generations. What values are we fomenting with our daily thoughts and actions? What do we continually feed with our energy? What are we energetically and spiritually consenting? Sometimes to consent we just have to do nothing, which foments and supports what is lower in frequency. Self-observance is the most important to be able to heal and remove fixed patterns that limit us, as the more we work on ourselves the more we will be changing the world, as it is all about creating within the frequency we desire to feel, see, and manifest outside ourselves. Many are the signs of our personal and planetary reconnection to the soul dimensions. We just have to know where to look, and that is always inside, to feel the love, wisdom, and power that we, as a collective, are gradually reclaiming. Supporting the shift in consciousness that is taking place on the planet. You, with your kind heart and benevolent assistance, contribute immensely to the current transition. Thanks to the effort of many as one, we are seeing physical evidence of what we have been working with for many years. This is just the beginning. Do not let the mistakes of a few mislead you from the truth. Continue being brave, remaining in your higher heart, within divine love and compassion to all, for this is the only way back home. With an infinite love. Natalia, Alba. Life Tapestry Creations, The Final Divide, of 3D and Beyond 3D. Dear Owns, your new world is likely not at all what you hope for. In truth, it feels darker and heavier than before the latest astrological events doubted by many spiritual earth beings. This is because you elected to fully see the fear and heaviness, so those on the fence about 3D or beyond 3D cannot blame others for not knowing about those two options. The fear and heaviness are becoming so obvious that one would have to be shut away without media or outside contact, because the power struggles are so apparent. It is the dark night of everyone's soul played out dramatically in thousands of different ways, all contributing to your discomfort and fear despite your interest in moving beyond 3D. This decision of 3D or beyond 3D will not be based on, maybe my life will be better if I transition beyond 3D. Instead, the final decision will be clearly outlined for all. Many of you wonder who would decide to remain in fear, when all that is required to move beyond is to set that intention. Some of your friends, neighbors, and acquaintances feel the need deep within themselves to continue their 3D lives. And you will be horrified by the many actions of those in 3D power. The distinction between the two worlds will be as clear as night and day. There will be no hesitation about which direction is most comfortable and right for you, any more than will be true for those who feel most comfortable in 3D. This phase will be painful for almost all. Not because you or others moving beyond 3D will be directly affected, but because the trauma of those remaining in 3D, either as power mongers or subservient beings, will be so obvious it will make you sad. What is your role as fear and anger become more prominent? Your one and only role is to find your joy and comfort zone. If that means interacting with 3D power mongers, so be it. And if that means ignoring the 3D drama, about to become much more dramatic, so be it. For most, the first inclination will be to save those traumatized by the power mongers. Even though that will be the correct action for some, it will be true for far fewer than you now assume. Because 3D victims and power mongers are merely playing their most comfortable roles. Your seemingly appropriate role of peacemaker or savior is not necessarily one you will now find comfortable, even though in 3D, you once fit those roles wonderfully well. This is a new world, and you are a new being. Those who wish to remain in 3D will not understand your need to save them, or redirect their power-mongering. Their 3D roles are quite appropriate, but yours of savior or peacemaker is not, because you are no longer 3D. And, if those of 3D try to change your direction from beyond 3D to 3D, you will not be comfortable. The lines are now clearly delineated. The only shift remaining is that of those at the tail end of the beyond 3D shift, deciding to change their focus. Those firmly ensconced in 3D will not welcome your interference, nor will your logic seem logical to them. The split between 3D and beyond 3D has happened. You cannot return comfortably to 3D, and those who wish to remain of 3D will not find your life interesting. The Earth is now firmly divided between 3D and beyond 3D. Even though you might find the 3D actions now occurring abhorrent, you can do nothing for others who do not wish to shift their 3D fear and angst. You will not understand those comfortably enmeshed in 3D, and they will not understand, or care, that much about you. The die is cast, and the Rubicon has been crossed. It is time to discover a new you in a new world, not by saving those who do not wish to be saved, but by finding and exploring your comfort and joy. So be it. Amen. Dissipating Stormy Moods with Love. Licensed psychotherapist and podcast host Nikki Walton shares ways to navigate stormy inner weather through the power of love. I woke up yesterday on the wrong side of the bed, and that experience looked different than it used to for me. I'm very sensitive now, more aware of the moving energy we call emotion, so I had an awareness of feelings of offness, agitation, irritability, and fatigue. There was a desire to remain in bed. Nothing in particular was going on. No new responsibilities, no new problems, just inner weather. It was also a rainy day yesterday, which is what's inspiring me to share this advice. What is inner weather? When I interviewed Tracy Ellis Ross and Rhonda Ross for my podcast New Growth on the Be Here Now podcast network, we talked about these moods that come seemingly uncaused, with Tracy referring to them as inner weather. Sometimes you can point to a cause for stormy moods, and sometimes you can't. But either way, it's weather happening inside, just like weather happens outside. Some days it's sunny and clear, and other days it's gray and cloudy. Some days you wake up feeling sunny and clear, and other days you might wake up sleepy, groggy, overwhelmed, anxious, or fearful, but you can't do anything about that. Note, it's not even your fear that you're feeling. And it's not your anxiety. You've tuned into human fear, picking up ancient thoughts and feelings of survival, and have claimed them as your own. You can just as easily tune into divine love. You can just as easily tune into silence or stillness, or even the sound of God's name. How to deal with inner weather. One of the dangers we run into in the so-called self-help arena is the conundrum of trying to make the body-mind feel better, and make your character feel better. Thinking I have to get out of this mood, out of this funk, ultimately creates more tension. Our work is to see through the storm, and know that the storm couldn't be any other way. There's so much power in that. When I woke up yesterday, for a few seconds the thought came, ugh, I don't want to feel like this. I know this feeling and I don't want to feel this way. But I intentionally got up and did my spiritual practice, even though I wasn't feeling blissful about it. And I did my responsibilities. I recorded for my podcast, wrote in my journal, and went to work, writing and taking Zoom calls all day. At about 5 or 6 o'clock, that stormy energy was still present within me. I was very aware that it was not a sunny day, but I also recognized that the storm inside couldn't be any other way. While Nikki, was showing up stormy, while Nikki was experiencing a rainy day, the clouds were there, but so was love, still shining. I was feeling and being love while the storm was blowing through Nikki, not trying to shift Nikki out of feeling sad or low or tired, but just recognizing the love that's there also. Seeing through the storm, seeing through the clouds to love. That's it, that's all I did. And by 8 o'clock that night, I got some of the best news all month. And I don't think it's a coincidence, nothing is. I stayed with the practice. I stuck with it. A practice to observe your inner weather, that's major, because if you came up in the era of the early law of attraction teachings, like I did, you'd think that feeling bad means you're attracting bad things. If you're feeling negative, expect negativity. Inner storms bring about outer storms. While this line of thought isn't destructive in the way you may have been taught, as thought has no power, it can be distracting. Bad moods come and go. Good moods come and go. But what sees them coming and going? What is aware of the changes in the weather, in pressure, in the sunshine, or seeming lack thereof? You. Spoiler, even when it appears to be night, the sun is still shining. Even when it's cloudy, the sun is still here. The way your body feels and the moods that come and go have no effect on what you are, or what you'll appear to manifest in a future now. So, your practice is to see any mood, even if it's caused by just a minor annoyance, as inner weather. You'll see it come, you'll see it go. And while it is present, it could not be any other way. Your only job in that moment is to stop yourself from making the person that you think you are feel better, just feel for love. You could even ask yourself, is love here, too? The storm is here, the pain, upset, or worry is here, but can I feel love too? Feel love while the storm is happening. That's it. If a thought about the past comes, remember that it couldn't have happened any other way. If a thought about something you said, or wish you would have said, but didn't, comes, remind yourself that couldn't have happened any other way. What was said was exactly the only thing that could have been said in that moment. Remember these words, remember what I'm saying. And the next time you feel upset, which will happen today, remember that this moment couldn't be any other way. The storm is here. I don't have to do anything about that, but I do have to be awake enough to be who I really am while the storm is happening. Examples of the impact of observing inner weather. I was on a flight recently, and the announcement for the initial descent had just been made. I'm usually an aisle girl, but I was seated by the window, looking out over a thick layer of clouds beneath the plane. We were flying into New York, and I was trying to peer through the clouds to see exactly what part of the city we were over, hoping to recognize some of the buildings, waiting to see the ground. But there were so many clouds. I was super attentive, just waiting, watching. Blinking only when necessary, almost holding my breath, waiting to be able to peek through the clouds to see what was there. This made me smile, because I recognize that my spiritual practice is just like this, seeing through my inner clouds, waiting to become aware of the ground, the love that I truly am. So, I peered through the clouds that were obstructing the city and the skyline, and then finally there appeared an opening. And I could see we were coming in over the Statue of Liberty. And I said, and felt, freedom. Freedom. Another airport example, I was about to miss an international flight back home, and I remember stopping, closing my eyes for a second, and just seeing through that frustration and anxiety until I could feel the love that I am again. And, of course, I got on the flight and got to where I was going without missing a beat. How to break through stormy inner weather. Stop, in whatever moment you're in that's stressful. For me, the act of breaking through stormy inner weather is like listening. I'm listening for the feeling of love, in the chaos, in the stress. And there it is. Or sometimes I can feel a pit in my stomach, that feeling you get when you're on a roller coaster. That's the same kind of feeling I have when I'm anxious. And I can become aware of the stormy weather within me like it's a ball of energy, while simultaneously feeling into the space that's next to it. Comfort is right next to the discomfort. Bliss is right there next to, and even pervading the pain. Look again. Feel again. Is love here too? And in the silence, you feel the yes. You feel the discomfort in your chest or stomach, and then you'll become aware of the space that's surrounding it. You'll find that space free and open and airy and full of love. Love isn't being drowned out by the density of your inner weather. The density of inner weather is happening in, and as love, too, but it's harder to know that, and see that. So just feel into the space right next to it, and there's the love. And then, that density dissolves. It turns back into love. This works for physical pain, too. You feel the pain, and then feel for what's right next to it. It couldn't be any other way. You couldn't be anywhere else. But I still thank you for being here. I love you. Know that where you are right now is where you are meant to be. You couldn't be anywhere else doing anything else. Your purpose is to wake up to love, in the midst of whatever your present life circumstances are. No matter how challenging they are, because, as Dr. Bruce Davis says, love found in the midst of great difficulty is love found forever. And I'm living proof. You are built for this. God chose you. Step into it. Know this, feel this, smile, and be love. Source: rayofflight.com. The other videos are in the English video playlist. Help me spread the light. Click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.